Okay, we are recording. You see it up there in the corner?
Yeah, yeah. Recording in progress, whatever. Yeah,
Yeah. So
it's nice.
Let's practice for a minute. I'm not
Okay,
live, so.
okay.
So tell me, Eric, tell me all about the challenge. I heard that you passed. Congratulations. Tell
Thank
me
you.
about that.
Yeah,
That's exciting.
it was, pretty good. I was really excited when I passed the challenge, but also had some, bad thoughts. You know what I'm saying, as always, and because I would like start getting really close to passing, and then down to like $10, from passing, and then it would go back up to into the high negatives. And my wife just kept telling me keep the faith, and Robert kept saying, no, you're going to get it next time, and
Mhm.
I finally passed it. But even though I passed the challenge, it was like it was just I don't know why, but it has never, to be honest, it has never clicked in that I passed the challenge. To me, it was like, which I know, like I know that I have been doing this since August, working at a little at a time. You know what I'm saying, and watching my risk and everything, right? And I've had some good times and some bad times, but I know that since I passed my challenge, I know that I've had more good than I have bad. Because if
Mhm.
I didn't, I wouldn't have be a funded, but it wouldn't be funded, right? You
Right,
know?
right.
And
Did you
so,
believe in yourself that whole time? Did you believe that I know I'm going to do this, so I'm just never going to stop it. I'm not going to quit. I mean,
not 100%, not 100%. You know what I'm saying? But there was times when I would wake up in the morning, and I would say, no, I'm going to believe in myself. I'm going to do this. And I would go do it. You know what I'm saying? And there was
mhm,
times I did that. It put me back. You know what I'm saying?
sure.
Um, but
So what was it that did it for you? Was it just the consistency to stay with it, or
I
what
think
exactly put
so.
you over that?
There was a consistency and the um, putting that, like Robert putting that vision into me. You know what I'm saying? That what is it called? Imagination.
Mhm.
You know, so you need to imagine and all that stuff, which I keep getting off of. But it was that, you know what I'm saying? And just doing that. Anyway, and then when the day came that I was finally funded, that when that finally came, I finally was doing these two trades, and they were going through, and all of a sudden there they were. And because the first time I made a mistake,
Mhm.
because I didn't know that I was funded one time, and I didn't know that you had to wait until all of your trades was done. And I had done one trade. I had two. I had done one trade, and it was going. And I took another trade of Joel's, and I was only like, I think I don't really remember, but I think it was like $14, something like that away. I think it was 14 that dollars I was away from being funded. And I had one trade going, and that was going good, and it passed me because that chapter trade went good, right? It
Mhm.
went into the positive. And then I had this thing came up and said, that it had went over the balance, and it said that I had passed the account, and I was excited. I took
Uh-huh.
screenshots and I put in the Imaginators group and or whatever it was. You know what I'm saying? I did all that. So I think it was the Trade Star group. Did
Sure.
that. But I had the other one running and I didn't know. And that one hit stop loss. And it
Oh.
took me out. And all
Oh,
of a
man.
sudden my account was in the negative and I was not funded.
Oh,
And
wow.
yeah, and I messaged Robert about it, and I was like, I don't understand this. I said, says I
I
was fun, but
remember.
huh?
I remember when that happened. Yeah.
Yeah, and he was like, yeah, you have to let it all go through.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but man, because even though Robert doesn't really know much about the funding thing, he doesn't know. As he said, he called it trainees. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
right.
He doesn't know. For some reason, because I'm so used to going to him, what I'm saying? I go to him because,
Yeah.
what I'm saying? He doesn't like, I go to him because I feel more comfortable, even though he doesn't know much about trading,
Mm-hmm.
and all of that stuff, and he doesn't have the answers to nothing really. I'm used to going to him because he knows how to like to answer my questions in a
Or at
like a
least point, guide, and direct you.
yes, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
In a friendly
Yeah.
way, what I'm saying? It's not like others that go, well, you should do this and this and get this attitude, you know what I'm saying? You know?
You dumb shit.
Yeah. Yeah. But then the second time I went and did the challenge, but then after that, I started going up high in the negatives again. And then I
Oh,
finally
okay.
had to bring myself back down. And I
Mm-hmm.
finally started doing things and it started going good. And then my wife's like, don't take any more things. You'll just do that one. Do that one. I did that one. And I was like, oh my gosh, I passed it. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
congratulations. I know how
Thank you.
happy you were to do
Yeah.
that. And you never had traded before, right?
No.
So, so how the Akashics education that we have, how easy is it for somebody that's never spoken Tritonese to come in and try to pass a challenge like you just did?
I think as long as you keep on, if you know how to copy and paste and you know where to go to copy and paste from one thing to another, even if you just remember it in your head and you know what to click on, it's easy as making a chocolate cake.
Okay. Yeah. You gotta have the right
Yes.
ingredients, right?
All
That's
right.
cool. So anybody could do this.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Anybody can. Now, as far as
Yeah.
like looking at charts and looking where the thing goes up and down, and I don't really know.
But we don't have to know that because we
Yeah.
have the educators, we have the tap to trade. I mean, I
Right.
think that's what makes Akashics unique. And we have all the educators. I mean, the amount of education I think that they give us is outstanding.
It is. Yeah. It is.
Outstanding. And anybody, I think it would be foolish not to try to learn this new skill. And it is a new skill if you've never
It is.
done it before,
Yeah.
and it's like Chinese, Tradenese, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But, if you stick with it long enough, it's going to become like a second language, I
Right.
believe.
Yeah.
So,
I think
I
my.
have not passed my challenge yet,
Yeah. I mean, right.
uh, but I'm still working at it. Do I think I'm going to? Absolutely, I do.
Do you think the
Absolutely.
reason why some of y'all haven't passed y'all's challenge yet is because it's the numbers are higher that you have to get to? Like I was on a 25K account. So do
No,
you
I
think?
don't think so. I don't think so. I did at first. I thought, oh my gosh, a $200,000 account. I've got to get that up 20,000 to
Right.
pass. That's a lot. Maybe I'll take a $10,000 account. I only have to grow it by $1,000.
Right.
You
Right.
know, but that's just a whole different um, frame of mind. I think the most important thing, and this is my opinion, but
Right.
you're the one that has passed the challenge. I have not yet. I think the most important thing is your risk management and following a trading plan, and the emotions are huge. I
Right.
mean, when you get so many losses after following your trading plan, you need to just walk away. You need to walk away for the day
Right.
and come back with a whole new frame of mind,
Right.
because your emotions can get you into trouble
Yeah.
in a
Yeah.
hurry. So
And
I think
sometimes I don't
following
even
the
realize my emotions getting me in trouble. I don't really realize that. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying?
until
It's
it's
like,
too late.
yeah,
Right.
yeah. I just because
Mhm.
I do things without thinking. Because sometimes I'll do Joe's trades, and you know what I'm saying, and it's like, let's say they're tap to trades, and I'll do those trades, and I'll find myself doing one after another. You know what I'm saying? Instead
Right.
of
Right.
they like two of them go, you know,
Mhm.
and then I think to myself, well, if I hit stop loss on two of them, I think, well, maybe I should have taken, I wish I would have taken these other ones, because there has been times I've taken, let's say, just two trades and they've hit stop loss, but the other
Mhm.
trade that he did went up to a positive, but I didn't
Okay.
take those. See what I'm saying?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I know that's kind of where I get off. It's like, how are other people winning and I'm not? Well,
Right.
I didn't take that winning
Yeah.
trade. I took that losing trade, and there's no way of knowing that. But if you
Right.
follow that trading plan, there is no possible way for you. It would take 40 days of straight losing to lose your account if you are following the proper risk management.
Right.
So I think greed gets in the way for me,
Right.
because um, I don't just take the tap to trades. I also like scalping. You
Yeah.
know,
I don't know really
I
much
love
about
doing.
scalping. Like, I
Well,
don't know much about.
I just kind of study the charts. I mean, if you look at the charts for like 10 minutes straight every day, they tell you to do that. You know, whether you know what you're looking at or not, but get into the habit of looking at those charts, every single day. And I was doing that. And so I would get into the hang of it. It's like I could tell when it was gonna go up or down. Don't ask me how. And half the time I would lose. I didn't have it right. But
Right.
when I get into doing that and I get on a winning streak and I'm bagging like 50, $100 here or there, it just
Yeah.
nonstop. It's like I have a hard time stopping. And
Right.
then instead of stopping when I've hit my 1%, for the day, that's
Yeah.
where we should stop. Of course, if you go more, great. But once you got that guaranteed, you need to walk away, because it'll bite you in the butt.
So I have a question to see if you know. Um,
Hmm.
when you're talking about the 1%, you're talking about the
Hmm.
1% of your account, right?
Yep.
So let's say
That
mine,
is the goal. That's the goal for. That's my goal,
right.
and
So
I
one,
know it.
so it'd be like 1%. Let's say, for example, let's say that my account's 25,000. So
That's
you would
two hundred
1%.
fifty dollars.
Okay. And let's say that then where I went up, let's say that it was 30. Let's say my account had went up to 30,000. So is that
Then that's
1% of
200.
30,000 or still 1%
Yep.
of 25?
No, whatever your account balance is.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yep. So if you got up to 30,000, that 1% would be 300. So
Okay.
you do not want to lose what you're on a 25, right? I would say
Yeah.
you would not want to lose more than $250 a day.
Yeah.
Okay. If you hit that, then you need to stop for the day, because that's your risk management. And it depends how many trades you take, because so like I shoot for 10 trades a day, because that's not a lot, especially if you're scalping. Okay.
Okay.
Because those go really, really fast. But I
I'm gonna
shoot for 10 a day,
I'm
and
gonna
I
show you
put
real fast this. I'm gonna show you this picture real fast. You can keep talking, but Sorry to interrupt you, but I'm going to
No,
show you this
that's
picture that I'm going to show
sure.
you this picture of my. As soon as I figure out how to save this thing, I'm going to
Okay.
show you this picture of.
But I'll say, so I put, my risk, you can adjust your risk per trade. And
Yeah, I remember you told me
I,
that yesterday.
mhm. So I put mine at 0.1 because if
Point
I
one.
if I plan on taking 10 trades, that's 100 or 1/10 of that 1%,
Right.
right? So if I'm on a 50,000, I'm working my $50,000 account right now. And so, I need to grow that by 5%.
Right.
I don't want to lose more than 500 in a day.
Right.
That's 1%. So if I divide that into the 10 trades,
Mm-hmm.
that's 0.1 per
Got
trade.
you.
Does
Okay,
that make
I
sense?
get you.
Yeah. So it's easy to figure out once you get it down on paper, and then you just got to stick to that plan. I'm like a yo-yo. I'm up, I'm down, I'm up, I'm
Yeah.
down. I will get it. I will get it.
Yeah.
I just have no doubt.
I'm the
It's
same.
just a
Yeah.
matter of time. Yeah. And then I suppose once you get that funded account, that that's got to be nerve-wracking for you, even more so because we're still not risking our own capital, but it's
Right.
like it feels more real. It
Yeah.
is real,
Right.
because they
To me, I can't ever. I don't know why. I don't know. If it's just because I have never on my funded. To be honest, on my funded account, I don't know if it's because I have never withdrawn from it. You know what I'm saying?
but
But
you
I
haven't
want
lost it either because you
right,
can
long,
still
right. But I
lose
just,
that.
it's like it's a dream. You know what I'm saying? I
But
don't know
you
why.
already passed it, so I would think it
Yeah.
would start to be more realistic for you. And
I know. I'm trying to
and
get it to be realistic.
so you think about that. Think of how that's going to change your life
I
once you
know.
start getting withdrawals every single week or every month or every day for that matter, and you can
I
do
want
that.
to right. I want to get the funded account, and then Robert talked about using that once I got it built up, kind of using that to buy a bigger account. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
And all
Yeah,
that.
definitely reinvest in yourself.
Yeah.
Reinvest it because having that big $200,000 account, that's a lot of capital
Yeah.
to be playing with, and that gives you so much more opportunity than a
Yeah.
$10,000 account.
Right.
That's just common sense. But i'm gonna
Good.
i'm gonna stop recording.
You're good.
But you
Hey,
know what?